Okay, so let's talk about something that can be incredibly stressful, medical bills. Today, we're going to look at it a little differently. We're opening up a playbook, treating this whole thing like a game you can actually get really good at. You know that feeling, right? You see the envelope, you open it, and bam! The number you see just seems impossible. Your heart sinks into your stomach. It's this moment of pure shock. But what if I told you that number might not even be real? Because get this, some studies show that more than 60% of medical bills have errors in them. Yeah, you heard that right. More than half. We're not talking about a few typos here and there. This is a massive systemic issue. And just knowing that, well, that's your first piece of power. So how do you even begin to push back against that bill shock? It all starts with one single fundamental secret. This is the key that unlocks the entire game. And here it is. Medical bills in the United States are negotiable. Just let that sink in for a second. The price you see isn't set in stone. It's more like the sticker price on a car. It's a starting point, not the final word. And here's the crazy part. This isn't some secret hack. Hospitals and their billing departments, they actually expect people to negotiate. But almost nobody does. We just assume we have to pay it, and we end up leaving so much of our own money on the table. Okay, so that bill has arrived. You've taken a deep breath, and now you know you don't have to take that first number as fact. So what's the very first, most important play you need to make? Before you do anything else, before you panic, before you even think about paying, your first move is always the same. You call them up and you ask for a detailed, itemized bill. Not the summary, you want the full line-by-line breakdown of every single charge. That's where all the secrets and all the mistakes are hiding. And when you get that itemized bill, you'll see why it's so important. You'll find things like duplicate charges or maybe charges for services you never even got. And then there's the truly wild stuff, like being charged $50 for a single ibuprofen, one pill. It's absurd, but it happens all the time. All right, you've got your itemized bill. You've gone through it with a fine-tooth comb and found some things that just don't add up. Now it's time for the main event. It's time to negotiate like a pro. Now, your attitude on this call is everything. You're not calling to start a fight. You're calling to have a conversation. You want to be firm and confident, but also polite and collaborative. The person on the other end of the phone, they're your potential partner in solving this, not your enemy. This sentence right here, it's pure gold. I'm willing to pay, but I need help lowering the charges. It completely changes the tone. You're saying, hey, I'm not trying to get out of this. I want to work with you. It immediately makes them want to help you find a solution. Okay, you ready for a real pro-level move? On the call, you ask this question. What is your discounted rate for self-pay or cash pay patients? See, hospitals often have two totally different price lists. This super inflated one they use for insurance companies and a much lower one for people who pay directly. And the difference between those two rates, it can be absolutely huge. Just by asking for that self-pay rate, you can often knock 30, 40, sometimes even 50% right off the top. Seriously, this is one of the most powerful moves in the entire playbook. And don't stop there. While you've got them on the phone, ask about financial assistance. Most hospitals have charity care or hardship programs, and you might be surprised at who qualifies. A lot of people think you have to be in deep poverty to get this help, but that's just not true. You just have to ask. So, you did it. You negotiated your bill down to a number that you can actually handle. That's a huge win. But hold on, the game's not quite over yet. How you decide to pay that new, lower balance is just as important. You've got to be smart about this. A payment plan directly with the hospital is almost always going to be 0% interest. But if you put that balance on a credit card, you could be looking at 20% interest or more. That's how a manageable bill turns into a financial avalanche. So let me be crystal clear on this. Unless it is your absolute final last-ditch resort, never put a medical bill on a high-interest credit card. Always ask the hospital for a zero-interest payment plan first. Most of them have one, and it will save you a ton of money. We've gone through the whole playbook, from spotting errors to negotiating the price down to paying it off the smart way. But it all really boils down to one simple, powerful truth. This is your ultimate leverage. At the end of the day, a hospital would much rather get a reduced payment from you now than get pennies on the dollar if your bill goes to collections later. They have a real financial incentive to meet you in the middle. So next time that envelope shows up, remember this playbook. Your health, that's priceless. But the bill that comes with it, that's just business. And that price is almost always negotiable. So the only question left is, are you ready to make the call?